Well, hi lovies, welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you can see from today's title, we are fixing a wig from start to finish. If you are new here, remember to subscribe, and if you're already part of this fam, you know I appreciate you. So all we need for today's tutorial or wig is just our bundles and of course the closure. We'll need a canvas head, or if you have a mannequin, we need thread and needles. We need the scissors and chalk, and then our dome mesh cap. So let's get into it. So you put on your dome mesh cap on your mannequin or canvas head, and then you pin it down just as I am doing. Make sure it's straight and nice, and we'll move on to sewing in our closure. I like to do that first because it helps me like know how to go about marking my lines and all. At this point, you just begin to sew in your closure to the dome mesh cap. Just make sure that it lies flat and there is no bump in the middle of the closure. There is no too much space in the middle of the closure, so that your closure will lie flat when you wear it and it doesn't look bumpy and all. So yes, that is basically it. Just keep sewing it, make sure it's flat, and you're good to go. So we are done sewing in our closure. I'm just going to make sure that it doesn't get in the way of me sewing the rest of the bundles. Yeah, I'm sure when I mentioned chalk, you were wondering what we needed the chalk for. So we need the chalk to make an outline to sew in our wigs. Yes, we do not have our liquid pencil or whatever it's called, so you just get your chalk and you are good to go. So you mark the outlines and that is it. I mean, my lines are not so straight, but that's not what we are looking out for. We just need an outline so we'll be able to sew in our wigs properly. That's it. Just as we did with the closure, you just begin to sew in your wefts one after the other. Just make sure that the needle does not prick you. Safety first, okay? So when I started sewing wigs, when I sew in the first line, I use that same weft to sew onto the second line. I don't know if you understand, but I do not cut the wefts, so it sometimes became very bumpy. So I advise that when you sew the first line, you cut and sew the second line so that your wigs will lie as flat as possible, okay? So this is how far we have gone so far. I don't know if what I just said makes sense, but yes, this is the progress so far, and I'm loving it already. Well, we are done fixing our wig. No styling here, nothing has been done, it's just the sewing. Moving on, I'll just wash the hair and remove all the particles from it before I move on to style. Yes, because the hair is dirty. As you can see, the water is looking brownish. That means the hair is dirty. This is wet curl, so you have to be very careful when washing. You just brush your fingers through, just as I'm doing, so that you don't tangle the hair by the time you are done washing the hair. Okay, so just brush your hand through and be very gentle. So I allowed the hair to air dry, and now time for styling. Okay, so before you start styling any of your wigs, remember to cut the dome mesh cap from underneath the closure, okay? Please cut it off and be very careful so that you do not cut the sew-ins, okay? just add elastic band to my wig to make it very adjustable for whoever is wearing it. So I'm just measuring and then I'll sew it in. So I'm going to start plugging this hair. I don't have much work to do because it is a machine stitch closure. Unlike a lace closure, I would have had a lot of plugging to do, but this, no work at all. Moving on, I just heated my hot comb just to make the closure lie and look very classy and beautiful. Yeah, if you do not have a hot comb, please don't stress yourself, okay? The little you do about the hair is going to look nice because this is a wet curls, unlike a straight hair. So I just kept on using the hot comb to make the hair look nice and make it lie down, all the bumpy side to lie down and look very nice and straight. So brushing out the hair, and this is how it looks. This is the afro look of this hair. I'll later show you how it looks when it's wet. So to get your wet curls looking very wet, you just spray in some water and then you use your fingers to brush. My client didn't want the hair looking so wet, so I just sprayed in just a little water and brushed my fingers through. But if you want to see how to get your wet curls looking very wet, just let me know in the comment section and I'll do a video on that for you. Well, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If there is any other thing you want to see on my channel, please let me know in the comment section. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Please remember to subscribe. Thank you all for your love and your support. See you in my next video. Bye.